Thank you, Sheriff. It's great to be with you here tonight. On behalf of Governor Haslam and Commissioner David Perkey of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, I want to thank you for including the Tennessee Highway Patrol in this ceremony. I'm proud to be associated with people like Sheriff John Mayer, Deputy Director Jason Locke, and other law enforcement leaders and public safety officials here tonight. You know, when the Sheriff was introducing me, he mentioned that I started on the Highway Patrol in 1978. That's 39 years ago. I've been wearing the same clothes for 39 years. Every day when I get up and put on that uniform, though, it still feels fresh. And I love my job and I love my department. But I have to admit that my time is growing short, and I appreciate gatherings like this much more today than I ever did in the past, and the appreciation that you people show for law enforcement and public safety. I got a chance to eat dinner with some of the young troopers in my organization tonight, and I start looking at their name tag and see when they came on the Highway Patrol. I see 2013, 2012. And I start thinking about their date of birth. You know, they were probably born in the 1990s. And then I start looking down at my feet, and I think my boots are older than they are. And I want to tell you something now. The truth is, I started on the Highway Patrol when I was 12 years old. So don't be deceived by that long career. In reality, though, there has been a lot of discussion over the last few months about what a tough time it has been for law enforcement and public safety officials across the country. Obviously, we acknowledge all the violence against police officers, and we send our prayers to all the families and departments affected by this violence, especially the two officers killed in Orlando on Monday. And we especially pray for the family of TBI Agent Frazier, and I know that family is here tonight, and we mourn with them for their tragic loss. There's a tendency to dwell on the problems and the negative things in this country. When you turn on the nightly news, that's all you see. We have violence to consider. We have a lack of respect across the country from the general public. We have low pay in some cases, tough conditions to work in, a smaller pool of candidates to hire. Some people have even shied away from public service careers because of what's happening in the country over the last few months and years. As a police administrator, these problems can be overwhelming when you're trying to build a strong law enforcement team. But I tend to be an optimist. In spite of all the obstacles, I think this will be our finest hour. I think we have the greatest opportunity to show people what we are made of and how we will serve the public in these troubled times. We will prove over and over again that we are Tennessee's finest and dedicated to our mission of public safety and protection. We have something special in Tennessee. There's a brother and sister relationship between our law enforcement and public safety officers and departments. There's a cooperative spirit that crosses boundaries and jurisdictions. A spirit and attitude that believes that Rule 1 is to protect each other at all costs in every situation. One of the great results from all the violence and distress in the country that we have experienced has been the renewed appreciation from the public. I see it everywhere. I can't go in a restaurant nowadays in Nashville or any town in Tennessee where 5 people don't walk up to me and thank me for my service. Just last week, in a Shoney's restaurant in Donaldson, Tennessee, a total stranger went up to the cash register and bought mine and 2 other troopers lunch. And without saying a word to us, just paid the bill and left. He didn't ask for fanfare or thanks in return. He just wanted to show his appreciation to law enforcement and public safety officials. This has become the norm instead of the exception. And we as law enforcement officers extend our thanks and appreciation to you, the general public that we serve. Your well wishes are very much appreciated, and I want you to know that. One of the many slogans that we have painted on the walls of our academy are servants, not lords. This has a special meaning to the THP as we try to serve and protect in a humble manner with pride and integrity. That kind of attitude will never be out of style, will never be old, and will always be well received by our customers. I want to thank you for the opportunity you've allowed me to be here today. To speak and to represent the THP is a great honor that I appreciate every time I get to do it. As we celebrate Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, this has been a special honor, and I thank you for what you're doing here tonight, showing your appreciation for public safety and law enforcement officials across this state. Thank you very much.